ये रेडियो पाकिस्तान पॉडकास्ट है।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Radio Pakistan Planet FM 87.6. Pakistan and Kashmiri people in all around the world commemorate 5th February as Kashmir Solidarity Day to express unwavering support, commitment, dedication and love for the people living in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. At this very special occasion, we have a very special guest with us who is not only advocate but human rights activist as well. Dr. Syed Nazir Gillani, who knows ins and outs of Kashmir, who represents Kashmir on international forums. Dr. Saab, welcome to the transmission.
Thank you.
First of all, sir, what is the significance of this day, 5th February, which we observe every year on the same date?
Baig, 5th of February is a day which reminds us, or we want to remind the world and to ourselves as well, that there is something that we need to address. That is the plight of the people of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and that their right of self-determination is in dispute, and it's heavily occupied by a force which need not to be there, because there had to be a discipline which was to control the Indian security forces over there, and there is a political pledge that the government of India has made to the people of Kashmir, and then to government of Pakistan, to government of United Kingdom, and the international community at large. So this is a day that needs to be triggered in our imagination, and the generation which is today, far remote from 1947. So every generation needs to be reminded, and we are the people who remain in the middle, a middle generation. We need to tell our own children and people across the world, wherever a Kashmiri is resident, that they have a duty to their own people back home.
Sir, Kashmiri people have been paying sacrifices for decades and decades, and around 100,000 people they have been martyred. There are half widows, so many half widows, even half orphans, and they don't know where are their husbands, and children don't know where are their fathers, and whether they are alive or dead. If they are alive, where they are, in which torture cell they are. If they are dead, where are their graves. But what we have achieved so far by these huge sacrifices?
You have to vehicle your sacrifice, because if it remains without a meaning, you, me, and others, they have to give a meaning to the suffering of the people of Kashmir. So this is the day that we need to translate it into a meaningful day, into a reminder to tell the people. And we need to perfect the art of storytelling. We need to tell people that is the number of people which were unlawfully killed. That is the number of women who are half widows. Here is the number of people who are orphans. So basically there was a provisional, a conditional agreement between the government of India and the government of Jammu and Kashmir. The Indians had taken over 4 responsibilities: to defend the territory of the Maharaja, to protect the life, honor and property. No other work was required of them. So anything that the government of India has done outside this frame, this is the frame, or this is the template that they have presented to the United Nations.
Of course.
And to the Pakistan government as well, because they are a party to the dispute, and to the United Kingdom, because they were the sovereign at that point. So any loss of life carries a liability, a legal and a criminal liability. So if a Kashmiri is killed, so someone is liable for the death of a Kashmiri. But here we have death of a generation, not one Kashmiri. So we have to make parties liable for the loss of life, for the loss of honor, for the loss of property, and for displacement. There are friends from the valley who are here. We are in Islamabad, they are in Islamabad. So I was driven to the station to Radio Pakistan by a friend, very close friend. So we need to pool our resources, intellectual, moral, political, and financial, to support this reminding process. We have to keep on reminding so that the world does not forget us. Even if there is a forgetfulness somewhere, we have to interfere and intervene and say, no, our tragedy is still alive. You have to find a solution.
Of course. Sir, whole the Kashmiri Hurriyat leadership is in jail, in different jails. I have whole the list over here. For so many years, they are in jail. Qasim Fakto, 34 years jail since, for 34 years. Asya Andrabi, 15 years. Yasin Malik, 8 years. Masrat Alam Bhatt, 15 years. Shabir Shah, 34 years. Nahida Nasri, 9 years. And there's a whole list. What India wants to achieve by putting all Hurriyat leaders into prisons?
Baig, one thing is very clear. There cannot be a colonial power stronger than United Kingdom.
Of course.
Britain. They could not rule people of United India against their will. So India cannot keep us and control us and rule us against our will. So the will has to be expressed, that the world has promised to us that there would be a United Nations supervised referendum, right to self-determination, unfettered. There would be no strings attached to it. So if the government of India or the administration over there think that they can rule the people of Kashmir against their will, it is impossible. Because no people around the world have ever been defeated by armies. It is the common man who defeats the army.
Sir, India, specifically even our Narendra Modi regime, they know, they believe that Kashmiri people never accepted India by heart and soul, even not by minds. But despite that, why India is so much stubborn and tries to crush Kashmiri people, to eliminate their movement? Why? Despite knowing that Kashmir will never be with India and they never accept India by heart.
Even when Hitler invaded France, they took over Paris.
Yeah.
And for 3 years, they changed all slogans, the language, everything. But they could not contain the spirit of the French people for long. They had to vacate. So India may find itself comfortable today because they are heavily armed. We are not. But we are morally armed, we are politically armed, intellectually we are stronger than Indians. Because we can advocate our case around the world. The gun cannot travel. Baig Sahab, Nazir, Gillani, Salim Harun can travel. We can travel right across the world and tell this gun is alien gun. It wants to rule us. Are you people with us or with the gun? The world will say we are with you.
Do you believe, sir, that India only wants resources and land of Kashmir, not Kashmiris?
It has been common all around the world because the stronger, the mightier believes that he can control. My belief is that it is not only the common man in Kashmir, even the voter of Kashmir has right to self-determination. The minerals embedded in the habitat of Kashmir, they are part of the right of self-determination. They are trust properties. Jhelum is a trust between India and Pakistan. They can use it because according to the laws of water, but they cannot use the Jhelum water against my interest, against the interest of the people of Kashmir. The principality of interest and the custodians are the people of Kashmir.
You recently submitted 5 important documents to United Nations, and these documents are very much important. I went through these documents. What do you think that what should be the stand of United Nations, and why United Nations is quite unable to play its role? Even in this era, I always call it that postmodern era, when we have artificial intelligence era, but still Kashmiri people are suffering so much, so immense sacrifices are paid by them. But despite that, where is justice, where is peace, where are human rights organizations, and where is United Nations?
There are two things. United Nations is a collection of countries. The membership of the world comprises the United Nations. It depends how active you are in the Security Council, how active you are in the General Assembly.
Of course.
Palestinians have been very active in General Assembly. That's why gradually they have gone up to the flag. So they are a step away from being accepted as a full voting state. We did not work on the jurisprudence of Kashmir case. We should have. We left it too late, because I remember from November 1965 to August 1996, for 32 years, we did not raise Kashmir at the United Nations. We took it bilaterally. But that's fine. India and Pakistan can go bilateral. There's no bar on that, no ban, because even they started as a bilateral. They failed, then they went to the UN under Article 35, because bilaterally they failed. So UN Security Council has told them, you can reach a bilateral agreement. We have no objection. But the results that you come up with should be consistent with the principles of the UN Charter.
Of course.
So UN Charter protects you and me and our case. Though if India and Pakistan are able to try a resolution bilaterally, there is no bar on that. But that has to be consistent with the principles of the UN Charter.
You recently wrote a very fine letter to the governor of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir regarding the stunts and current tactics of India and Indian forces which they are playing over there. And what are the current stunts played by Narendra Modi regime, and do you think that these stunts will play a role?
There is a sell-by date for everything. For BJP rule, there is a sell-by date. Beyond a certain date, they can't sell themselves. Maybe they have passed or they are near enough the sell-by date. The shelf date of their politics is very near. So there would be a change in Indian politics. There are sane people in India. They know they cannot rule us against their will. They know they cannot colonize us. When India and Pakistan were a colony, we were not a colony. We were an independent state with treaty agreement with the Crown, British Crown. So it has to be remembered, we were not part of British colonial system. We were an independent state, even in 1947. The only 3 subjects were given over to the Crown. Otherwise, the state of Jammu and Kashmir was very independent, except it did not have an international personality.
Sir, there are hundreds and thousands of Indian troops, and they are not there to shower flowers to Kashmiri people. They are there to interrogate them, to kill them, to assassinate them, to carry out and conduct search operations over there. And where to put full stop? Will Narendra Modi or Indian regime or Indian state put any full stop on these crises and will say, okay, enough is enough, we are going to resolve Kashmir, or no, this it will be continued and endless?
Let me answer it in a different way. India has a civil and criminal liability in Kashmir. Its forces may have committed war crimes. Crimes against the civilians are war crimes. And killing the innocent people are the war crimes. breaching the agreement is a crime. So they may have to pay reparation and compensation to the people of Kashmir. We will not let them go scot-free because for the death of a generation, somebody has to be held responsible. Anyone, because there are courts in India, there are international courts. Death has to be accounted for, and these are the people who would have taken part in the referendum. So killing a generation may be taken as a deliberate act to create a deficit, so that there is a deficit against a party and a plus in favor of a party. So if the Indian regime or the Indian administration has done it with a purpose to create a deficit, change the numerical superiority of the people in Kashmir, reduce the Muslim number, it is a crime, it is a war crime.
India adopted different strategies and different stunts in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir to crush people, to crush their freedom movement, but failed. There has been, I still remember, catch and kill policy was there. After that Kashmiri youngsters used to be tortured in front of their parents. After that, false flag operations, and last but not the least, revocation of 370 and 35A. But all these stunts miserably failed. What do you think, India, what will be the next stunts of Narendra Modi and Indian regime against Kashmiri people?
The Indian oppression or suppression in Kashmir has reached its end point. Saturation. There is saturation. They cannot go beyond a certain point. And beyond a certain point starts their failure. They have failed because they could not contain the people of Kashmir through gun. Now oppression is there. It may be that we have not been effective, but we are very effective. Today, the 5th of Feb, around the world, every Kashmiri would remind his family, his friends, his colleagues that we are a people who deserve your sympathy and support. We have to generate an interest all around the world. We have to remind the world that we have been occupied by a force and which was to administer us. We were given in trust to them by the United Nations, but they have colonized us. And this is our fate. I think the people around the world are now listening, and it's our duty to trigger this cry, to make it more hoarse, a stronger one, so that each one around the world listens to us and believes that they have a case.
Thank you very much, Syed Nazir Gillani Sahab. Dear audience, this freedom movement has generated from the hearts and minds of Kashmiri people, from the blood of Kashmiri people, and they will not leave any stone unturned unless and until they will reach to their destination. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
ये रेडियो पाकिस्तान पॉडकास्ट है।